What is an operating agreement and why do you need it? An operating agreement is just basically the governing document for an LLC. It's the same thing as bylaws or shareholder agreement for a corporation or a partnership agreement for a partnership. So you'll hear operating agreement, you'll hear those words kind of used interchangeably, but an operating agreement is specific for an LLC. What does it talk about and why do you need it? Well, it talks about things like who owns an LLC. So for me and my business partner, if it's 50% and 50%, it'll say Wesley Henderson owns 50%, another person owns 50%. It also talks about things like decision making, what happens if someone wants to leave, that sort of thing. So these documents are private. So there's a couple of things I want to highlight for you. First is that if you're a single member, just one owner of an LLC, you're going to say, well, why do I need an operating agreement? Well, a lot of that question is right to be thinking that. I would not spend a lot of time or money on an operating agreement, but I would absolutely make sure that you have it where it says Wesley Henderson 100%. The reason for that is if you do get sued and you need that LLC to hold up, you need to be able to show those corporate formalities, show, hey, this is a legitimate business, a legitimate LLC, and I own all of it. You need to be able to show this stuff with your paperwork. So that's a very important thing to do as soon as you file your LLC. I wouldn't worry about the rest of the clauses in there if you're the single member because you can just change them whenever you want because you're the single member. But make sure you get it signed and make sure you get it where it says you're 100%. Another thing you want to do is to make sure that you have a separate bank account for your business, and that will really help bolster that LLC protection that you're looking for. Now, who really needs to spend some time on an LLC operating agreement? That would be when there's more than one owner. And here's why. You need to have clarity on exactly who owns what. I can't tell you how many times I've seen, we never really talked about it, we just started doing it, or a business owner later just kind of offering 5% or 10% to an employee, and none of it's documented. It's all just a disaster, and it makes it very expensive and complicated. So what you're going to do instead is get that operating agreement and set it up so it addresses a number of things. First, who owns what? How much money have people put in? And then you also want to dive a little bit deeper and talk about how do we vote on things? How do we make decisions? Let's say, me and my business partner disagree. Well, what happens there? You also want to talk about what will happen with money. So if we make money, are we going to pay it out to the owners or are we going to reinvest it in the company? These are conversations you want to have on the front end while you're excited about your business and everything's going well so that you're on the same page with your business partner. Another important thing is, what if someone wants to leave? The way to think about this is not like your business partner is going to just disappear or y'all are going to have some fallout. More likely what will happen is someone's life will change. A spouse will get a job in another state or that person will get kind of the dream job. Maybe somebody in their family gets sick and they got to care for them, but life happens and makes it where the business partnership doesn't work as it does today when you're starting it. So you want to make sure that there's some clauses in there that discuss, well, what are we going to do if someone wants to leave and can't continue to work in the business if that's the expectation? And then you also, if someone passes away, what happens? Does their ownership go to their spouse or through their, to their estate, or does it get purchased back from the business owner? A great resource for this is obviously Drafted Legal walks you through these questions. Go to an attorney to actually get a really big deep dive on this. But if you can't afford that, at least go through the questions that are being asked. It's going to make you do it in a way that you think about it and talk about it. We caution you against the automated stuff because it just pops like 8 questions at you and then you don't really know what it says. These things just deserve an afternoon, drink some coffee with your business partner, talk about them, make sure you're on the same page, be very deliberate and intentional about them. Don't automate them, don't download it. Either get a lawyer or get a well thought out, operating agreement that asks the questions that need to be asked. Of course, Drafted Legal, we think is the best resource for that. There's also tons of free resources, so go to draftedlegal.com and you can find everything you need to get your business started. Good luck.